What's up, guys? Welcome to the Bomb Squad. Today, we have a theme. I know that the last couple of themes was movies that the audience don't care about enough to watch reviews of, but we have a new theme this week. The theme, actually, no, you guys have done pretty good with views, gracious. But today, we're covering Dark Castle movies. For those who don't know, Dark Castle is a production company, and originally, they were like, oh, we're only going to remake William Castle. If you don't know who William Castle is, he was kind of like the Timu Alfred Hitchcock. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He made like because Alfred Hitchcock also did like sensationalism. Like after 5 minutes of Psycho, they wouldn't let anyone in. Like they would lock the doors. And so William Castle kind of did the same thing. He like did like the Tingler, and he did House on Haunted Hill. And in the original screenings, there was a skeleton that would drop down in the middle of like the screening to scare people.
Like gimmicks.
Yeah, so he did that. He did 13 Ghosts, which we'll talk about, but that was a 3D movie. No, it wasn't a 3D movie. We'll talk about it later. So that was the original premise of this company. Let's remake William Castle movies. And they did. They started with House on Haunted Hill, his most famous movie. Then they did 13 Ghosts. And then they were like, that's enough. And then they did House of Wax, which is a remake, but not of a William Castle movie. It's just a random remake.
Movie, I think, right?
Yeah, and it's I forget who directed it, but not William Castle is the answer to that movie. And so we are eventually gonna do I think next week we'll probably do either 13 Ghosts or House on Haunted Hill. The reason we're starting with House of Wax is because it's like kind of the most mid one.
Yeah.
Well, at least that was my recollection.
Well, so what are some other Dark Castle movies? We have Ghost Ship as well.
Ghost Ship as well, which I did a deep dive
That's
on.
true.
Check out that deep dive. And then after that, it becomes like
Gothic.
Random movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Gothica
was their next big
yeah.
hit. I think The Woman in Black was one.
Oh yeah.
That movie with Daniel.
Radcliffe.
What's his name? Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
And it was started by Joel Silver. Yeah,
Robert
and
Zemeckis, I saw.
Yeah, see The Losers, which is a good movie we'll eventually cover, but it's like that has nothing to do with. Oh, Rock and Rolla. We'll cover that one eventually. Guy Ritchie's best.
Yeah.
So they kind of like immediately left
the idea.
The idea.
Right.
And so, but we wanted to cover these because I think these have kind of been lost, and there's something to talk about on all of them. And then we're gonna cover one at the end of the month that William picked. That's like I said, after a while, they just stopped having anything to do with William
That's
Castle.
the most intriguing one.
Like they did have like a very certain aesthetic that really kind of defined like late 2000s, early 2000s slasher movies.
It was interesting because they kind of took like that look of Saw, and they put it in a monster movie. Like it's even more apparent in 13 Ghosts and House on Haunted Hill. But like one of the things is the fast editing of Saw, like the super gruesome kills for no real reason.
Yeah.
And even Ghost Ship has that very famous everyone gets cut in half.
Set to like new metal. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's new metal and sticky and kind of
Yeah.
Or like kind of like Marilyn Manson, yeah.
And all the colors, the movies are all really saturated, like the blood is really blood. But yeah, go watch the Ghost Ship video and see if Ghost Ship is a remake of Event Horizon. Spoiler alert, it is, but I'll go explain my points over there. So go check it out. So House of Wax, it is a remake of a Vincent Price movie. It's kind of famous. It's also weird because they eventually released it in 3D. That was like the big thing. And so, have you guys seen the original one?
I actually have. It's like
I have not.
Like
Yeah.
the lady who used to clean my grandma's house. Her name was Mary Dillman. And like in the summers, like I would just follow her around the house and talk to her about like movies or just like I was probably like 7 or 8, and then she would always talk about the House of Wax, and I was like, I've got to watch this movie House of Wax, and she was like, well, come on over, and so I watched it with her and her husband one night when I was like 8 or 9, and they ordered us pizza and we watched it, and I was like, that wasn't as scary as I thought, but that was cool.
I assume it's less.
Very integral memory though.
I assume it's less crazy than the Paris Hilton.
That story could have gone so many dark ways.
I know you were really leading into it.
It was very
It was that is kind of cool. I feel like that is like a staple of all children is like a random couple who's not really like related to you, but like a family friend who shows you a movie you've never seen before. You're like, what the fuck was that? Like something random. But yes, it was directed. Yeah, it was directed by Andre de Toth. It has Vincent Price, and that's really the most famous person, Phyllis Kirk, for all the Phyllis Kirk fans. But if you watch that movie, it was in 3D, so there's like parts where there's like a very long sequence where he's like, "Check out these yo-yos," and he's like shooting them at the camera.
Oh man, yeah.
And the movie itself, which we'll probably talk a little bit about later, it's so the story of the original is that Vincent Price has a wax museum, but they want him to do like famous people or like gruesome scenes, like stuff that people would want to go see at a wax museum.
Right.
And he's like, no, it has to be science and scientists. And so then they burn it down to get insurance money. And Vincent Price like seemingly dies in the fire. And then it cuts 2 years later, and someone's like killing like the business partner who got the money, the insurance money, his son or daughter or whatever. He's killing. There's someone killing all of them.
Yeah.
At the end, you find out. Oh, Vincent Price is like, oh, I'm alive. Who could the killer be?
I'm alive and crazy.
Anyway,
yeah.
And so then at the end, you find out that he did survive the fire, but he was horribly burned, and he's wearing a wax face. And that's really the only thing wax related. Like they do make wax.
Oh,
people.
They don't do the wax people.
They do make them, but they're already dead. So it's just kind of
That's
like,
fine.
okay, I mean, that's not that.
That's
bad.
most of it. Well, let's get into this one.
And they're like,
because
and they're like, oh, that looks like my friend, and it's like nobody ever makes the connection. It's okay.
This movie starts kind of with a bang, and I was like, all right, we're getting right to it. And then it definitely gets off.
Oh wait, well hold on, I gotta.
Oh, you got to do the directed by and stuff.
Calm down, buddy.
Josh,
You're a little too excited to enter the House of Wax.
No one's excited to House of Wax. I guarantee you that, including most characters in this film.
House of Yaks when Josh talks about it. So it was directed by Jean Colette Sierra, who also directed The Shallows, which is another cool movie.
I do like The Shallows, actually. That's a good one.
It's Blake Lively's best movie. That's not that one where she got sued by everyone for no reason.
Hey, Simple Favor 1 is good. Oh, actually, this movie is tied to Simple Favor. We'll get into that later.
It stars. We're probably not going to get into the Simple Favor.
We might.
It stars Alicia Cuthbert, who is in Happy Endings, the best show of all time.
That's how I know.
Stars and 24. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But she's best in Happy Endings. That's her peak.
She's the most utilized.
She's
It also stars.
Role.
It stars Chad Michael Murray and Jared Padalecki from Supernatural.
I know. Chad Michael Murray's the jerk who's the brother, and then Jared Padalecki is the boyfriend who's nice. So it's kind of like that's the dynamic. Everyone has one personality trait in this whole movie.
Yeah. Oh, it also stars Robert Richard, who you don't know his name, but you'll know his face. He's this black guy, but he has very clear eyes. He was in Coach Carter. And he was like on one-on-one, but he has very
distinct.
Blue eyes, so he sticks out.
His personality trait is he likes football and sleeping with Paris Hilton. That's the two things.
He likes football. He loves his car and he loves his girlfriend. It also stars Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton was actually the first person cast, and then the cast was built around her for some reason. It also stars
a piece of stunt casting that I had known at that time.
Yeah.
In my
Well, and we'll talk. There's a point where we're going to talk about the marketing of this movie and how I think it's weird, but we have to get to that point.
Yeah.
It also stars Damon Herman, who's from Justified. He played Dewey Cox.
No, Dewey Crow.
To him.
But yes,
Dewey Crow. Yeah.
Dewey Cox
Dewey
is
Cox
a very different film.
He has to think about his whole life before.
The wrong brother died.
So anyway, this movie, yes, Josh, talk about the beginning of this movie and pretend that some of us forgot, even though we watched it. What the beginning
smash cut to a guy making weird plastic stuff next to his screaming toddlers who hate him, and his wife who is abusing the toddlers, and then they're like tying them to chairs, and then
one's really good and one's
that's
really
true,
bad.
And then the toddlers are not into it, and the abusive parents lash out, and then it fast forwards 20 years later to modern day.
Yeah.
Or 30. It's like 30-ish years later.
Yeah.
There's a mask being made of wax that gets shattered.
Yeah. The dad. You never see the face, but the dad is some sort of wax figure maker of some kind.
Yeah. He's a waxologist.
He's a waxman. He's the original waxman.
He's a master waxer.
We need to.
In this scene were pretty good. Like.
Oh, is it? Because there's no faces. It's just like kind of close-ups on like as they're like tying their legs to the stroller and stuff.
Yeah. And we'll get this out of the way right now. Almost all of the Dark Castle, especially these early horror films, look amazing. Like the cinematography really
There's some
takes it in
inspired
ways
stuff.
like that. It kind of gets away with a lot because of how good it looks. But yes, so then we cut to our heroes, which
Our
is
teens. I don't. Are they
Harley-
supposed to be in high school, college? It
they're
doesn't
all-
matter.
They're all 40 years old.
Because she's going to an internship.
They're 38-year-old teens going to a
They're
football
about
game.
to enter college. Like this is their senior year, and they're all about to graduate. And so then they're like, "Hey, we got to take." Eliza Cuthbert plays Carly Jones. Everyone has names like.
Let's
Carly
just
Jones.
call them by their actors'
Paige
names because I'm
Edwards.
not going to remember a single character name.
Blake Johnson. You're not gonna remember Blake Johnson, Josh?
I won't.
Of the esteemed Johnsons. So they are going to a football game, and she's like, "I gotta bring my brother. He's 45 years old, and it's Chad Michael Murray." And he's like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit."
Yeah,
Like
he's
every
just-
like line.
He's just mad, and like we should say, the fact that everyone has one this is kind of the problem with the movie that pervades the fact that everyone has one personality trait, but there is so much backstory. Like he's mad at Elisha Cuthbert because he thinks she called the cops on him because he stole none of this factors into the film at all.
No.
They should have just driven to the House of Wax in 10 minutes and it would have been fine.
Yeah, it's called character development, Josh.
There is not enough of it, but
And
it goes
so,
on
yeah.
for a long
There's so
time.
much of it.
She blamed. So he just got out of prison for 2 years for robbing a car. He
He's a
blames
bad
her,
seed.
which is not going to make sense when we explain something a little later. He blames her for calling the cops on him, and I just want you to keep that in mind because it's not going to make sense later.
Right.
Okay,
He got
and
in
then
trouble for stealing a car. That's the most important thing.
And so Paris Hilton and that guy Roger Rogers, whatever his name is.
Who?
Robert Richard.
Okay.
Clear
Clear eyes.
Yeah, Clear Eyes Can't Lose. They're in a loving couple, and I'm just gonna say like they're the most endearing couple because they like have like real fights where it's like at the beginning he like loves his truck, so he's just playing with his truck and he's literally finding places on the GPS because that's what this movie thinks like car guys do.
Yeah.
And so she like walks up and he's like playing with it and she's like, "Fine, I don't want to be here anyway." And she like starts to walk up and he's like, "No, I'm just kidding. Like I'm just joking around. I'm like in love with you, babe." And then they kiss and I'm like, "Oh, that was endearing." They like didn't make them assholes or anything.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
And so they're all going to this.
Sure.
Yeah. They're all going to this football game. Oh, and then there is the obligatory why is this character here? There's a fourth guy who's like friends with the brother.
He loves to drink beer. I don't think he even has
loves to videotape,
any kind
which
of
is
personality.
Michael Murray's friend.
Yeah. It's also like it kind of feels like there was another draft of this where the brother was way more of a loser.
Yeah.
Because his friend is a huge loser. But Chad Michael Murray's like playing it as such a cool guy that it's like I don't see these guys being friends because they kind of would hate each other.
Yeah, his friend is such a weird, like he's like from like an American Pie movie. He's like, whoa, like it's so weird.
Like how he wears.
It's like the
like early 2000s like
and
The
noteworthy
famous American Pie line. Whoa,
whoa. But no, they're driving along the road. They're like, let's get to this football game. They do a Paris Hilton sex tape reference, which I did the cheek of it.
No, they did ask her about that, and she said that it was already in the script.
But they do it in that he literally does it in night vision on his cell phone, which wasn't a thing at the time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But it's like, oh, she looks like she's in the car with her boyfriend, but she's like, I was getting lip gloss, and then they're like, hey, let's take this shortcut down Murder Way, and I'm like, yes, we're getting to it. But no, they're just going to play tag football for 35 minutes.
And the pigskin starts flying immediately.
It is so...
And not only that, but the game is today. Like, they have to get there today, wherever this is. It's also funny because it's like, what high school football game is away, like this far away from your school? Or is it a college game?
They're going to Baton Rouge, so I assume they're going to New Orleans.
Right.
Oh, but maybe
for
school
for championship, maybe
Tulane University.
State championship.
It
doesn't matter.
It's state U. That's what it is.
So then they're at the park and they're like throwing the football, and then like they even do the thing where they're like, "Hey, the brother gets the ball and he like doesn't want to give
He
it
like
to him.
throws it
Throws
really
real
hard. Yeah.
and then they're like, "Wow, you a bit of a badass, huh?" And he's like, "I don't even care."
I also
Oh, and, and,
they
and, the, and the boyfriend's like, "Oh, it sucks that you had a football scholarship to college and then you went to jail."
Yeah.
Yeah, it does suck. Actually, really bad.
He's like, yeah,
It's real bad. Yeah.
there is a good light here because at some point, I guess the wind shifts. They're like, oh, do you smell that? It smells really like, it smells like something dead in the woods.
It smells stinky.
And the one guy, Robert Richard, he says, he's like, yeah, something's dead right here. And we need to drink it back to life. And he just starts pounding a beer. Like, that's such a stupid line.
He also like,
but
and
the
again,
party
like,
continues.
Because one of the things is that Alicia Cuthbert is going away for an internship. She's not even going away for that long. Very high.
I should really stress that none of this backstory factors into the film.
Well, and Supernatural is gonna stay, and so like Paris Hilton's like, well, what are you gonna do? And she's like talking about how like she doesn't know because she wants to take the risk of like the internship. And Paris Hilton's like, oh yeah, like you need to think about yourself for once. And I only bring that up to again talk about how much of a good person Paris Hilton's character is as we continue on this movie. So then they're like, hey, let's set up camp for the night because I don't know what this.
They set up a camp.
Yeah.
A weird guy in a lifted truck comes and they just kind of yell, what the heck? Well, he does. It is one of those trucks.
Well, he has his headlights on.
He's blaring at them. Chad Michael Murray throws a rock and breaks one of the headlights.
It's a bottle.
Yeah.
Nah, that's right.
It's a beer bottle, bro.
And then the guy drives
cool
off.
Like that.
And they're like,
yeah,
that was weird. Let's go to sleep. And
yeah.
they all wake up at 2:30 p.m. the next day. The idea that you'd sleep in a tent and wake up that late is crazy.
I know. Like, I know, with the sun.
But they're like, we gotta go. But Jared Padalecki's car is like the fan belt's messed up. The fan belt. And it is a 15-inch fan belt because they say it 20 times.
Yeah, that's going to be very important and then not important at all. And so then this guy comes up and he's like, hey, I can drive you into town.
Oh, it's Dewey Crow. That's no. They find the gore pit.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
trying to get somewhere and they find this pit that's just full of dead deer.
And Alicia Cuthbert kind of falls partially into it. She's like, get me out of here.
Yeah, she falls and there's a human hand sticking out of it.
The funny thing about this is Dewey Crow is playing like a big redneck who just like takes roadkill in the back of his pickup, but he's still doing not as much of an accent as he does in Justified. It's like 50% of the Justified accent.
He hadn't patented it down yet.
Yeah, which is great because he is super Australian in real life. So it's like this guy's good at accents.
He also did a good job as Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Who had a cameo in the last movie we saw, Psycho Killer. Go check out that review. So then they're like, okay, Dewey Crow's gonna take us.
Yeah, he's gonna take the two of them. The rest are gonna go to the football game in the guy's truck.
Right.
So this is kind of where
then they're like,
they all separate, which I think is a mistake, but they never really join up again, and that's kind of where the movie takes a turn.
And then they're like, oh, go to the game, and then she's like, oh well, why don't we all just go to the game and come back, and we'll get the thing on the way back and put it. And the boyfriend is like, no, because what if that guy with the truck comes back and messes up my car? It's like,
which is fair.
Yeah, it would have been more fair if they had thought about that last night instead of being like, let's just
let's set up tents and go to sleep.
This psychopath knows where we live. Yeah,
because
like you can't do that the next day after you've already.
The weird thing now is that the ones that Jared Padalecki and Alicia Cuthbert go with this weird redneck guy. Everyone else goes to the football game and is kind of in a different movie for a long time that just it keeps cutting back to where they're not really doing much. It's very weird.
They get 30 minutes into the movie now, by the way.
Yeah, because they get stuck in a traffic jam and then they eventually just turn around. That's their arc, but we keep cutting back to it for no reason.
Yeah, that's a good 25 minutes of the movie's that. Yeah.
Dewey Crow is like, hey, I'm gonna drop you off and then I'll leave. Also, no one's here. So then they start going through the town. No one's there. And they get to a mechanic shop. And they find a 16 and a 17.
Well, first they find a church. And they see there's some sort of funeral. And then some guy rushes out. He's like, hey, don't interrupt a funeral because a friend of mine just died. But I also, by the way, run the gas station. Go over there and wait for me.
I will say the one scene that had like really any tension is definitely the scene where what's his name, Dewey Cox, not Dewey Cox, but Dewey what?
Dewey Crow.
Dewey Crow.
Dewey
The
Crow.
scene where Dewey Crow takes the guy from Supernatural and Alicia Cuthbert in his truck through the town, and like they
Yeah.
see he has like a knife, and like it's like a weird car ride. This is like
Right.
the only scene that really had any kind of like what's going on here.
Matter.
Like that was probably the best scene in the movie, in my opinion.
And
could see
also,
it.
I will say too, because we go into this town and like it's kind of the center of it is this kind of big church that kind of looks like Gothic German, like kind of like this architecture of like a different world.
Yeah.
And so the set design and of all of these films is very good. It looks very cool.
Yeah.
And so then they go into a mechanic shop and they're like, "Oh, we found a 16 and a
And
17."
it's like 1 inch off. But he's like, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it seemed
but then
fine.
the
I don't
guy
know how
shows
things
up.
work, but he seemed okay with it.
Yeah, it seems okay. And then the guy shows up and he's like, "Hey, you were gonna pay for those, right?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, we left money on the counter, and also you told us to come here."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah. Anyway, I have a 15 back at my house." And then there's like a funny part where he's like, "I have a 15 back at my house," and then the boyfriend is like, "You have car parts at the back of your house?" And he's like, "Yeah, I get them delivered."
He's like, I'm a gas
It's like,
station owner. That's
this
that's
isn't
normal.
a thing
Yeah.
to be. You should be worried about everything else.
We
happening
should
in
say
town.
the weird thing is
The last
while
one.
Of course, he's gonna get delivered
while
to his
they're
house.
while they're waiting for him, they're like, hey, let's break into that abandoned House of Wax for a few minutes.
Oh yeah,
And that's how the House of Wax enters. And then they're just kind of in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, these wax figures are creepy. They see what they think
And-
is a guy in the window. They leave. Again, nothing happens. This
And
movie
the
is.
wax-
People in there, and the statues look like real people. Like they're all in like
Yeah.
weird positions.
yeah,
Yes.
and they're all like killing each other or something.
Yeah, it's a very freaky. The concept's very freaky, and the
The
design
concept
is.
freaky. Yes.
yeah.
The execution, I don't know.
And then they're going to this gas station guy's house, and then he's like, "Come with me into my house, Jared Padalecki." Elisha Cuthbert's like, "I'll wait in the truck."
Oh, because they're about to leave, and he goes, "Oh, didn't you have to go to the bathroom?" And the boyfriend's like,
Oh,
"Oh
yeah.
yeah," and he's like, "Oh, and let me get you that 15. It's at my house." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then she's like, he's like, "Oh, do you want to go inside too?" And she's like, "No, I'll stay here." And he's like, "Damn it! I mean, okay, that's fine."
Whatever.
And so he's like, "Okay, let's go inside." And that's where the boyfriend goes inside, and then he just starts looking through his stuff.
Yeah.
It's true. This is a very the Tyler Durden house. It's very
Yeah.
creepy, and it looks like no one lives there, and it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so, before we get to the next part of what happens, I just want to point one thing out, which I think is a part of why this movie isn't as famous as it could be. We are at minute 47 right now,
Yeah.
and this is a horror film, and we have not seen one death. We have seen a gore pit, but we have not seen anything really that scary yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the
And
movie is
so-
an hour and 50 plus minutes. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
way
it's
too
a very
long.
long horror film.
Literally,
And so that's
yes.
when he gets attacked by another guy who's wearing the mask.
he's wearing
which
a
implies
wax
that it's
mask.
the brother.
Yes.
And so he's like, "I'm gonna kill ya!" And then he abducts him, and then he puts him in like a big chair.
It's a very Saw-esque chair. Like you were talking about.
It's
Saw
a very-
earlier. It's
yeah.
There's like needles.
Yeah.
coming through his face.
Yeah, he puts him in a chair, and he's like, "I'm gonna turn wax on you."
Yeah.
And so he turns the wax on him, and he gets covered in wax.
Let's
And
just
then
describe it as
that's-
a car wash.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Like.
He waxes him up.
Vincent
This is-
Price, it's better when they're alive because then
I mean, it's more horrific.
Crashing around.
yeah.
But this is the most horrific death in everyone else gets off pretty light, and it's crazy how horrific this one.
See, I would
is.
say that's not true, but there's another one that's pretty bad.
Well, we'll get
So-
into it. Yeah,
Yeah. So then she notices the other truck.
she's like, "Wait a
The
sec!
other
No,
truck
she's
was-
in the truck that like harassed them
Oh,
last night."
Yeah, which it doesn't even make sense because it's like
How could
you
you know
saw
from the
this. Why
inside?
would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she starts to leave a voicemail, and then it cuts back to Paris Hilton and her boyfriend just banging in the tent.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they do every time it cuts to them for like about the next 30 minutes.
Mhm.
Well, because they've sent so they're like, we're not gonna make the game. Let's go back. So they go, and then they're like, oh wait, where are these guys? Let's go look for them. And then Paris Hilton and her boyfriend are like, no, you guys go look for bad brother and the dead guy. and
and,
and he's
American
like,
Pie.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, let's go. And that's when the brother reveals that he took the blame for his dumb friend.
Mhm.
And that's why he went to jail, which makes no sense because then how did Alicia Cuthbert know that he stole a car in the first place? And then how did she rat on him?
I don't know.
And then why does he think that she ratted on him if he took the blame for the other guy?
Exactly.
I think they forgot that was the
And-
setup because it doesn't.
Doesn't make any. And then he's like, one more notch on my rap sheet. What's the difference going to be? And it's like, what else is on your rap sheet? What did
I
you
know.
for? Like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
He's like, and it's also like, this was almost as bad as that time I beat that old lady. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
I beat that old lady to death. And so then, again, let me just reiterate: 50 minutes in, the brother is actually innocent of his crimes, but is guilty of potentially worse crimes.
Yes.
And everyone's a good person, and only one person has died. And once again, none of that backstory is going to factor in this movie
to anything that
even
comes
this little amount
forward. Yeah.
So then they have the boyfriend, which it's also like, how long does this take? Like, is this
Yeah.
simultaneous? Because
We also
Cuthbert is not like, hey, what's
to
going
set
on?
the scene, it is blasting Marilyn Manson as the boyfriend's getting covered in wax. That's the kind of movie this is. You're just,
Yeah, he's like, oh no, wax. And it's
you're
like,
just hearing
"Wah!"
new metal, yeah, the whole time. And then the
Oh,
guy
and
comes
then
out. He's like, he's not out here. He's not with you.
Yeah, and she locks the doors, and she's like, I don't trust you at all. Then he attacks her, and he drags her out, but then they fight. Oh, and see, this is another weird thing about this movie. It is kind of brutal, because then she, like, hides in a grate, and she's, like, trying to open the grate, so she puts her fingers, and then he cuts her finger off.
He has her trapped down there.
Yeah, because he's like,
Oh,
he like
yeah.
waxes up her mouth so she can't.
No, he super glues her mouth shut.
Yes.
Which is also like, hey, man, if you're going to turn him into wax, that's not going to be good.
Well, it's wax adjacent.
It's also like, you can't just glue someone's mouth. Like, that's not very good.
Yeah, I would just be licking my lips like this.
Well, he's a murderer,
Oh.
so it doesn't.
So, and then he cuts off her finger, and also, like, that's not going to matter at all. And, like, eventually she just kind of gets her finger back.
They also, yeah, because then Chad Michael Murray shows up. He's like, have you seen my sister? And he's like, no, I work at the gas station, and no one's come through here. He's like, well, that's obviously very suspicious. They would have had to come through here. And then she finally gets free of the glue, and it's like, help me. And then they fight.
Oh, well, and then while that's happening, the American Pie guy goes into the House of Wax, and he finds the Jared
Padalecki.
Jared Padalecki. He finds him, and he's all waxed, and he's like, "Oh my god, bro, you got wax all over you.
Yeah.
Let me take it off." And he starts taking it off,
But it's the
his
skin.
so his skin starts falling.
Yeah.
And see, that's a brutal moment.
That
too,
is
'cause his eyes,
horrific.
like, bleeding.
But it all happens to
He's-
Jared Padalecki, is my point.
He's like crying, and then the brother comes in. He has two big knives.
Yeah, he has like
What are
butcher
his-
knives,
He
kind
has
of.
like
They're
shears.
like serious. They have like dragons on the end, or like some kind of.
Yeah.
And he
He got
he
him-
goes to kill him. He kills Jared Padalecki instead.
He got him at Hot Topic. Well, he cuts
Yeah.
Jared Padalecki right here, and his whole face falls off.
Yeah.
And then you just hear Jared Padalecki like screaming through the wax. It's like, Jesus.
But you also don't see him again, so I guess he just dies.
Well, he burns
Yeah.
at the end.
Well, I also like how the
Um,
American Pie guy is like, I'm gonna get this wax off of you, and he starts like peeling it off, and it's like peeling his skin off, but he doesn't stop trying to peel it off.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Don't worry, dude. I'll
He goes-
get you out of this.
well, he keeps going. He's like, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, man.
And
you're
then
killing him.
he gets instantly decapitated by the brother with
Yeah, the
with
brother-
his
and it-
Chinese knives.
And that's so funny because the brother's like playing it like Deadpool. He's like, "Ka-cha!"
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't like, that's not what Michael Myers does. Like, you're supposed to act like you've been
and
there
he does
once.
the severance move of like his disembodied head looks around and like, huh? Like for like
Yeah.
a second before he dies.
Which
It's like,
is
all right.
Yeah.
Castle. That's so dark.
All right.
And then they're like, oh, it's all of these. So then the brother and sister eventually get away.
Yeah, they're running through. She's like, you don't understand. Every wax person in this town is like a dead body that they like waxed up. And China Mallory's like, that's crazy. What about that old woman waving? And it's like an animatronic.
And she's like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They're like, what about that dog? And it's like a dog. They're like, what about that bike? And she's like, we really don't have time for
He's
this.
like, what about that? It's a
Let's
wax
go.
car that's just parked. You're like, that's too much.
Yeah. And also, we forgot to mention this. The House of Wax is also made of wax.
Right.
That's going to
It's
be a
huge
big play later.
plot point.
And so they get away, and then the Paris Hilton and her boyfriend
He
get
finally
there.
checks his voicemail. He's like, "Oh, we should go save them."
Well, no, and then like they do like a strip tease, and then he like walks away, and then the guy kills them.
Yeah, but she does
And
the
then
striptease, and she's about to confess to him that she might be pregnant.
Right,
After the
right.
striptease.
Again, which again, so they set her up that she might be pregnant, and they're like, "Well, what are you gonna do about it?" And she's like, well, "I don't know. I mean, we're so happy together. I would want to keep it, but I don't know if he wants to."
Yeah,
And then right before he's gonna bring it up is when they get attacked and they kill him, and then she runs away and like she's like screaming, and then she hides behind a car and she kind of like looks up, and then the dude throws a huge spike at her and it hits her
Yeah.
in the head, and then her face like slowly goes down, and then he gets up to her and he like watches her face like slide down the pole.
yeah,
And this is what I want to talk about, because two things. The first thing is that up until this point, this character has been the nicest character in the movie.
right.
And the
absolutely.
manner of death that she's given is so brutal that it's like, why did you do this?
I mean, the boyfriend was
And-
super nice too, Jared Padalecki.
I know, but the boyfriend's a man. No one cares
That's-
about
that's
that.
true.
He gets stabbed in the neck.
And-
you don't even see him. Die.
Yeah.
like he just is
Well,
almost
see-
like dead outside.
And the second thing is, the most famous thing about this movie is that the marketing really pushed like, go watch this movie because
Yeah.
you'll see Paris Hilton die.
Right.
Like there was even shirts that Paris herself sold, and they sold out like in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That said, "Watch Paris die, House of Wax," and like there was commercials that were like, "This is your chance to watch her die," and it's like weird because she championed this movie. They like built the cast around her. She like is the nicest character in the movie.
Yeah.
So you're not like, it's not like if you watch
Yeah.
another movie, Send Help, the Rachel McAdams movie, there's one of the characters you're like, hell yeah, the more bad things that happen to them, the better.
Right.
Where it's like in this one, it's like you don't really want her to die. Like I know it's Paris Hilton, but
Yeah.
it's, like, she's not Paris Hilton in the movie.
Yeah.
She's just like a nice girl who
I know
Who
it's
doesn't wanna get
She chose
murdered?
This movie to, like,
it's
be-
a very tonally. It's not like
Yeah.
It's not like Repo the
It's-
Genetic Opera where she's like playing like a nepo rich
Yeah.
girl or so, like something where it's like, oh, she's like a villain of some kind.
it's not
Yeah.
campy at all. Like it's
Yeah.
every death is so gory that it's like hardcore.
It's almost like the movie almost gives them too much backstory to be as campy. Whereas like if they had just been kind of nothing and shown up at the House of Wax in 15 minutes, you would have been like, that's fine,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then the brother and sister are like back at the house and they're fighting the guys, and like they each take one.
Yeah. 'Cause they're the only two
Very
now left
action
alive.
movie
They're the
of
only two
yeah,
left
they're the only
alive
ones
now.
left.
Yeah.
And so like they're stabbing them, and they kill the older brother, and then they stab the younger.
They
brother.
do-
and then they like
They do a like funny where she's hiding in a room. Oh, and the whole house we've now learned is made of wax because they spill
Yeah.
over like a like fire thing and it starts melting.
and starts.
So even the
melting.
walls
and,
are melting, but
and-
there's like a wax sculpture of two little boy brothers, and he cuts through it and it separates them, and you're like,
Well, yeah,
yay!
they're
Twins. They were conjoined.
There's Siamese.
Yeah,
twins.
because his face is all messed up, the brother.
Well, and then we find out because they take off his mask, and we find out that he's missing the part where they clearly separated the conjoined twins. And so then they stab the brother, and he dies, and he falls on a gurney. It doesn't.
Yeah,
matter.
he falls onto his brother from behind the way they would have
Well,
been
yeah.
born.
And yeah, because then they
Very
push the
thematic.
older brother, and he falls on top, and then they're like squished. And then they're like, because they get to the top, and then they're like, I don't know. I guess we just like let's try to
Let's
crawl
just
our way out of
Okay,
it.
a claw through
So
the
they
melting
start,
wax.
And it's like pretty soft and goopy.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
so
funny because
then-
it's like every time it rains, this house like melts a little.
One hot
No.
second would have ruined his house.
Well, and I have this to say: if the House of Wax is melting at a rate where you can like put your hand through the top part, which isn't on
Yeah.
fire yet,
Right.
it would have to be so hot in that
I
building that you are dead. Like you're not even surviving.
And they're in
But it doesn't matter.
Louisiana. Like they're next to
Yeah.
New Orleans and Baton
It's the most
Rouge.
humid,
Like,
yeah.
It's not like this is gonna stand up.
And
Ever.
so then, and it is cool when they like crawl out of the actual like name House of Wax.
yeah.
And then they just kind of let the house like fall, and then they just get up and walk out. It's very like a cartoon.
I just
And so then they're
because
like,
it cuts to the next day and the police are like oh man, the thing is, it's really hard to get to this town, so no one knew it was here. And it's like,
Not after the
you
sugar was
guys
closed
didn't
down.
notice the hundreds of murders that must have taken place
Yeah.
in like a 20-mile radius.
You didn't notice
And
that
looked
you
because there are so many wax dead people in this
Ew.
film. There's like a whole movie theater full of them at one point.
And why? Why is he killing these people? Like, we don't have any
He's
idea.
just
Yeah.
his
Well, and
abusive
not only-
wax father childhood, I guess.
not only that, but it's like, hey, have you guys noticed that there hasn't been a deer in the last 3 years? Like
Right.
maybe figure stuff out, cops. They were like, hey, what happened to that couple that was just here? I don't know, man. That town's pretty hard to get to. Who cares?
There's a river that cuts it off.
I will say, there's a really cool shot where the wax is on fire, and there's like one of the wax figures, and it's melting. It's like half a skeleton,
Yeah.
and the whole thing is on fire behind him. And it was practical. They did set it on fire, and it
Yeah.
was a real
They
house
had to
of
use
wax.
like 100 gallons of
And
wax to make
This is where they do.
And I think it's burned. I think some of it was peanut butter, but still, that's pretty.
This is
cool.
where they do a sequel teaser that does not pan out, but
Yeah, well, because then they're like the guy's like, oh, actually, there wasn't three brothers. There wasn't two brothers. There was three, and then
they're driving away and they see Dewey Crow just sitting there like it waves to them. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
he's
and
the
he's
third
like-
brother. Who cares?
Cool.
But it's also like, okay,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, what's
does he help?
that's
or
also-
does he not
Those
care?
stingers usually like it's like whenever the protagonist survives, it's like those stingers are always like, but did they survive? Like they'll still be haunted, but it's like they're never gonna see that guy again. Like that guy.
Yeah, they're just gonna.
Yeah, none of the murders, they imply that every murder is just someone who got lost. But again,
Yeah.
hundreds of people, so no one just noticed for 30 years that anyone who gets kind of close to this town is just dead and missing forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we think? The cops will be incompetent?
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. So overall, I don't know. I think it's like it's a weird mix of, and we'll talk about the other ones as we get there. But the other ones, they differ from this one, and they are at an advantage because they do this little thing called having interesting characters.
Correct.
And this movie doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest problem. Like even Paris Hilton, like she's the one I attach myself most to because she is just nice.
Yeah.
But all of them, everyone else doesn't have enough of a personality to even talk about.
Yeah. They're
And
so
so, yeah, so it's just very like, okay,
like you're never
that's-
scared
that's-
because you don't like care about anyone dying. So it's just
It's-
It's fine.
It's actually kind of because I think this came out the Jessica Biel Texas Chainsaw came out a couple years before this, if I'm not mistaken, and it
yeah,
almost has the
this is
same
kind of
issue where
following
it's
that
like
same-
a remake where it doesn't feel like you knew why you were remaking it. You're just like, just put a bunch of teens and a wax guy and see what happens, but
Right.
without
Well,
any
see,
real
but
like
that's-
structure, you know.
That's the thing. I didn't really like after watching House of Wax. It's okay that they didn't copy House of Wax.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing is like you have this blank slate. It just has to be about a wax killer.
Yeah.
And this is what you do with it, like kind of this boring. Like it should have taken place in the city. Maybe like his wax, like maybe it's just rip off Clayface. I don't care.
Sure.
And make him change his mask all the
Or
time.
like the town is in on it because the wax museum brings in so much revenue. It's like the thing keeping the town alive. Like just something that like gets people involved.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Or just
It's
like
these two brothers.
something more interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like why is the town abandoned? Like it just feels like they just did stuff because
The town is abandoned
had
just because
to.
it's a cool reveal when she walks into the church and realizes they're all wax. And that's a cool idea, but it doesn't make any sense. You know,
Yeah.
it's like no one's noticed this before. You know?
Yeah, and that's kind of why. I mean, I remember watching this, and I was like, I mean, it has some pretty cool moments, and it wasn't like necessarily bored, but I never wanted to really watch it again.
Same.
And it's one of those movies that got a resurgence recently, where people are like, it's actually pretty good, and they always praise like the effects, which are good, but like,
when I read
no
the
one-
melting house, that is cool, but
Yeah.
it's not like.
I feel like
doesn't save
if you'd
it,
gotten
yeah.
to the melting house in 90 minutes instead of like an hour 50, you would have been like, yay, versus like finally.
like,
You know.
there was no scene where he's like dipping a guy in wax and his arms are burning. He doesn't care 'cause he's
Right.
a psychopath.
Exactly.
Like something.
Yeah.
I
I didn't feel connection
like-
to the villains or the protagonist at all.
I will say at the end of of the original House of Wax, like the girl that Vincent Price is trying to murder, like after like they save her, the guys are like, "Hey, this was the head that he was gonna use for your head. You want it?" And she's like, "No." And then they're like, "I wanted that one to end like this."
Yeah.
Like the cops are like, "Sorry, man, town's pretty hard to find. You didn't even try once.
Nah.
What do you want from me?" They're like, "There was three brothers."
That
And they're like-
is a twist and a simple favor. I'm saying the first twist is twins, second twist triplets.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a bad twist every
were-
time, but both movies did
They
it.
were-
Still a twist.
They tell the cops like, "Hey, there's three brothers. Should we try to find the other one?" He's like, "Nah, town's pretty hard to get into." It's like, "Well, we're in the town now.
He's like,
We can just look
he's
around."
like, there's
He's
so
like,
many toll roads. I've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know, Chief. How hard could it be? Because that guy who just picks up dead deer is here.
He's
He's just
smiling
hanging out.
menacingly at
He's
everyone.
he's the only
And the
other living
ambulance-
resident of this
Yeah.
town. We could investigate him, maybe.
The ambulance seemed to have gotten in and out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Nah, he's like, "Let's go, boys. Our work here is done."
Yeah.
But yeah, House of Wax. It's okay. It's cool. I would say it's cool to watch once for the ambiance.
It is interesting.
But-
It's on Tubi
Oh.
or it's on Canopy. If you have a library card, you can watch it without commercials on
Yeah,
Canopy.
I watched it on Canopy. Here's the other thing, and this is the best part of the movie. The movie ends with Helena by My Chemical Romance.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like,
The most
"Fade
time and
away,
place.
now my heart till-" And
Love
I
that
was like-
song.
I was like, no way. And then it doesn't even make sense for this
Loved
song.
that video. Does not work for this movie, but
They should have ended it with
Some
Ghost of You.
Interpol and some Joy
Yeah.
Division in the movie.
there's
this
Deftones
movie-
somehow.
Deftones
I-
at the very beginning, yeah.
I remember this movie was heavily marketed on MTV, and you can tell that like they were just like, let's go crazy with this soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put some indie,
But-
put some mainstream. It'll be good.
This is the first one. We'll see what we feel about one of the next ones. I don't remember which one we're doing. Probably 13 Ghosts. So join us next week when we talk about the Ghosts of 13 on the Bomb Squad.